Happy Saturday, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Pat Cavlin here with your 4 p.m. update on this Saturday on Tropical Storm Beryl. Still a tropical storm as of this afternoon with winds at 60 miles per hour. Definitely looks a lot healthier, though, than it did after it emerged from the Yucatan. So now starting to take advantage of the warm Gulf waters. The upper atmospheric dynamics still not super favorable for this thing to take off yet, but I think that will change as we go through the overnight and into tomorrow. Notice the storm is also moving to the northwest at just under 15 miles per hour. This storm is just under 400 miles from the city of Houston, obviously then even closer to the coast. So we are expecting landfall here within the next 48 hours. By Monday morning, we should start to see the worst of the storm arriving here in southeast Texas. So here are the risks that we are tracking for you with Beryl. Of course, coastal flooding a concern with 2 to 5 feet of storm surge. We'll see a similar setup to what we had during Alberto just a few weeks ago, but also rain flooding. I do think we'll be close enough to the center of this storm to see some really heavy rain totals across parts of the area, and then also an enhanced risk for tornadoes. And that's not just one day. That's going to be spanned over a couple of days starting on Sunday. So during the day tomorrow, there will be a potential for tornadoes across all of southeast Texas, especially from the city down towards the coast. And that threat will continue as we get into Monday as well. All right, there's the latest forecast track. Not a lot has changed. So there's the good news. No big changes anymore as we're starting to close that window between now and landfall. We are starting to get a little more confident on where, or at least what part of the Texas coast will see landfall. Still a pretty big area, but it looks like it's going to be somewhere in the middle Texas coast. And it does look like the timing on this will be between 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. So sometime around sunrise on Monday as a Category 1 hurricane. Notice once it moves over land, it starts to weaken out of tropical storm strength. But again, as it makes landfall, it will be at least a Category 1 hurricane. From there, the storm brushes the city of Houston during the day on Monday through Monday evening before that system races off towards the north and east as we go through the middle of the week. So there's the good news. We do not expect this storm to become stationary and meander across the area like Harvey did. And that was why we saw such catastrophic flooding, was because the storm just parked itself over the area. This one will keep moving. So that's the good news with this system as we get to the middle of the week. Here's one of our high resolution future track models. Again, we expect hurricane status to happen sometime Sunday afternoon. The storm by this point is probably about 200 to 250 miles offshore. From there, the storm makes landfall probably somewhere around Matagorda Bay down to Corpus Christi, somewhere in that vicinity, in that range, as a Category 1 hurricane here before sunrise or around sunrise on Monday. And then what we have to deal with here in southeast Texas will be heavy bands of tropical rain coming through the area during the day Monday. It's not going to be cloudy all day Monday. It's not going to be an all-day washout Monday. But where you get these bands setting up is where you're going to see some really heavy rain potential, the chance maybe for a few isolated tornadoes, some gusty winds. And of course, the farther west you go, the bigger those impacts will be. The farther east you go, the quieter of a day it's going to be. But Monday really looks like the day. Even into Monday night, heavy rain possible before this thing starts to race north and kind of disconnect from tropical moisture as we get to Tuesday. In fact, Tuesday looks like a pretty decent day for recovery. Rain totals, though, look big across southeast Texas. On the lower end, 2 to 4 inches. On the higher end, we could see pockets of 6 to 10 inches. And some areas could get even locally more than that. And again, it just depends on where some of those heavier bands set up. So brand new this afternoon, we now have tropical storm warnings in effect for Galveston County, for Chambers County, for southern portions of Liberty County, and then southeastern portions of Harris County. And that does not include the immediate city, but again, southeast Harris County under that tropical storm warning. Then as you get into Brazoria County, tropical storm warning. The red here for Matagorda County, that indicates a hurricane warning. And then tropical storm warnings for Colorado and Wharton counties as well. For the coast, bigger storm surges the farther south you go. So coastal Brazoria and Matagorda County could see 3 to 5 feet of storm surge. That's where storm surge warnings are in effect. And then up across Galveston Bay. As you get into Galveston and the Bolivar Peninsula, we can see 2 to 4 feet of storm surge inundation. So storm surge watches up for those areas. And then, like I mentioned, there is a big tornado threat with these heavy rain bands coming in from the Gulf. It's a level 2 out of 5, 5 being the highest, level 2 for tornadoes, including the city of Houston, getting into southern Liberty County. And then for all of our coastal areas, this is where the tornado threat will be the highest as we go through the day tomorrow. So here are the inland impacts for Beryl. It's Sunday and Monday that we are watching for that flood and tornado threat. You need to stay very close to this forecast because things can still change over the next 24 to 36 hours. Any small track adjustment can have a big impact on where we see the biggest flooding potential. And again, that's for areas inland. So for all of southeast Texas, we are talking about that tornado threat Sunday and Monday. The flooding threat will be for everyone, primarily focused for areas around the city of Houston and points west during the day on Monday. I think that's the biggest threat for us, will be on Monday. And again, landfall as of this evening still expected along the middle Texas coast. We'll have another forecast cone, the cone of uncertainty update coming up at 10 p.m. tonight. And then again, as we get into tomorrow morning, and again, as time gets closer to landfall, we're getting better and better ideas of pinpointing exactly where that landfall is going to be. Stay on top of this forecast. We will keep you updated on air and online as Beryl gets closer to the Texas coast.